Welcome to Kung Fu Academy number 2. This is probably going to be one of, if not the last video from outside. So, 2001 touchdown first and foremost, so that I don't sound like a complete hypocrite like I did in the last video. I'm going to sound like a hypocrite. Alright, so we're going to get that out of the way. I am going to sound like a hypocrite because battles and battlefields and situations change. Alright, so it's going to sound very hypocritical, and no matter how you look at it, you might as well just go ahead and call me hypocrite and get the shit over with. Okay, so we got that out of the way. You're going to be able to call me hypocrite because everything I say is going to be hypocritical. Alright? It is. There's nothing I can do about it, but it is what it is. It's going to be hypocritical. So if you're going to call me hypocrite, I'm not even going to fucking be mad at you because I can't even spell the word hypocrite. But here's the thing. Street fight in a dojo is illegal. Street fight in the street is not illegal. Street fighting in the UFC, illegal. So that's where we're going. And then at the end of the video, I want to talk about you ground and pounders real quick. Alright? I want to talk about you ground and pounders. Alright? Don't take that shit wrong. But I am going to tell you how I feel about the shit. If you don't like it, that's a you problem. So first and foremost, we fighting in a sporting arena, in a dojo. We doing combat sports or whatever. There's a set of rules that you cannot break. Alright? Eye poking, punching in the throat, trying to punch people in the crotch, things that are illegal, you need to address first. And we're going to address that right now because, one, if you're poking me in the eye and I got headgear on to protect everything because you're not supposed to punch people in the face hard, or that's why you have gloves and the headgear to protect you, you got your tooth protectors and all that shit, you still shouldn't be poking me in the eye because that's cheating. We are in a competition. We ain't in a street fight. We are in a competition. And you need to be a person who follows the rules. If you're going to kick me in the crotch or poke me in the eye, you're a fucking cheater and you're a piece of shit. Now in a street fight, I can't get mad about that because it's a fucking street fight. And this is why I'm a hypocrite. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's a street fight. I can't get mad. It's a street fight. But if we're in a competition, we're in the National Taekwondo Championships. We're not in the kata competition part. We are literally... You might want to watch your tone, Missy. Anyway, don't be sorry. Be careful. When you see this door was open, you probably should have thought about that shit. Anyway, don't lock this door. Anyhow, if you are in a competition, you need to be fair. You need to be honest. You need to have your honor. You need to make sure that you fight with honor. Instead of, oh, I poked him in the eye. Now I'm going to kick him in the testicles. Oh, I need him in the throat. Yeah, you save that shit for outside the dojo. While you're doing a competition in the dojo, no, you fight with honor. Even though there will always be one person in that tournament that's going to cheat. They're going to cheat because that's what they were taught to do clearly by somebody outside of the dojo or somebody inside the dojo. And that motherfucking bee is back. I'm sorry, it's fucking problem. Do me a favor and go find me some bug spray. Goddamn bee to go the hell away. Bug spray. Who actually come my way here? Matter of fact, open my window and look at my door. At the bottom of the door, do the show me to see this kind of bug spray. This damn bee is fucking up my video. He got to go. Any fucking how. Somebody in that dojo, wherever this asshole came from, has misled this student. And they misled this student to the point where they're not consciously thinking, I'm going to honor my teacher and I'm going to fight with honor. They're thinking, I need this fucking W. I need this fucking W. Motherfucker, you ain't going to win them all. That's something that other teachers and other people on YouTube need to start explaining to y'all. You not going to win them all. If this person has been doing this shit longer than you and their skill set is better than yours, you are not going to beat their ass. Unless they let you beat their ass. You're not going to beat their ass. I talked about a child prodigy in the other two videos. You're not going to beat their ass without fucking some work. You're going to put in that fucking work. You might not want to put in that work, but you're going to put in that fucking work. Whether you successful with it or not, it's a whole other ball game. Take it, you found it. Perfect. Did you find this in my room? Well, you can go do your thing. I'll take it back in when I get done. The beat up flew away right now. I don't want to kill the motherfucker, but I'm done playing games. Any fucking how. Might need to move this when I spray this goddamn thing. Couldn't find a nest, but when you are fighting in a competition, it is a competition. It is not a blood sport, it is a competition. And I said the same thing if you're fighting in the UFC. It is a competition. It is not a blood sport. It is a sanctioned competition. You are fighting for money. Now, if you're in the Taekwondo Championships, y'all not fighting for money, because as far as I know, they don't do that. I know you guys are fighting for trophies and shit like that. I was never invited to do them. I was only invited to watch them, and I had to pay like the cover fee. So technically, I wasn't invited. And then there were certain times where they were free. That's where I took my picture when I was like 33, where you see me doing this. I have that picture somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but I do have it. And I have really short hair. Not bald, but really short. Post-apocalyptic hair. Anyway, when you're fighting in a competition, it's a competition. You ain't winning them all, you ain't losing them all. But you can at least fight with honor. And that's what I was getting at. You know, a lot of these motherfuckers in these competitions that cheat, they don't have any honor, but they have been misled by their sensei. They've been taught martial arts by John Kreese. Cobra Kai. You know, I don't watch the show, but that's where the John Kreese reference came from. And you know, these I'm looking to see if he's coming back. The whole thing about it is, you know, if you watch Cobra Kai, which I don't, but if you watched it, and if you watch the original Karate Kid movie, he is the example of exactly why a lot of Asians didn't want to teach Americans. And now we have a wasp. We had a wasp. Hope this shit don't fuck up the computer now that I realize where the fuck I was standing at. Anyway, you know, how that was. I see the shadow. But, you know, worst come to worst, you know, they have not explained how honor works. And they have taught the people the martial arts, but they taught them how to use it for dark means. Alright? And sometimes, you know, the yin and yang theory is truthful. Sometimes there are going to be people who do martial arts and have nothing but bad intentions. And you're going to come across those people at tournaments. And you're going to come across those people in the streets. Which is why I said, you know, this is why I hand out warnings, not invitations. I'm not a saint by any means. If anything, I'm closer to the black symbol than the light symbol, you know. But I'm honest enough to let you know, if we have a fight, I got to fuck you up. And it's mostly because I'm not 20 years old. Alright? I can't be playing with you. When that fight starts, I have one mission. Fuck your shit up. No consequences to me. Now, legally, if we're fighting in a tournament, I'm not going to do that. We're going to fight with honor. But if we fight in the streets, I'm still going to fight with honor, but I'm going to fuck your shit up. I'm breaking everything that you throw at me. I'm putting you in arm bars. I'm breaking arms, elbows, knees, legs, necks, whatever the fuck I can get a hold of, that shit's getting broken. Understand that shit. Which is again why I say I hand out warnings, not invitations. Because I know in my head what I got planned. The only problem is that monkey wrench is in your head and what you got planned. I got to deal with that shit. And you see how openly and honestly that was? A lot of motherfuckers don't tell y'all that shit. Motherfuckers like, yeah, you can just beat this guy by doing this, doing that. No, you cannot. Because you don't know what that motherfucker's been taught. You don't know if he's strong enough to knock you out with one hit or not. And if you never had your bell fucking rocked, then you shouldn't be talking. I've had my bell rocked at least once or twice, which is why I know I can take a fucking hit. See, a lot of people don't know they can't take a hit until they get fucking hit. That's that monkey wrench in your plan of, I'm going to beat this guy because he's 5 foot nothing, 100 nothing. I'm going to beat his ass because I'm bigger, I'm stronger. That don't make you better, it just makes you bigger and stronger. Alright? Understand it, in case y'all forgot, martial arts was made for little people to beat up on big people. It was made for Shaolin monks to protect themselves from bandits. It was made for women to beat up men, i.e. Wing Chun. It was made for soldiers when their weapons were no more useful, they could still survive fights. Then I keep going because there's a lot more other stories with martial arts that came into play than the shit I just said. Alright? You can take that shit with a grain of salt because every story that we've ever been told by our senseis and stuff has been changed somewhere down the line. It's just a matter on how honest your sensei is, or how honest the person that told your sensei the story, that told your sensei the story, that told your sensei, hey, shit changes. Like the legend of the 3-section staff and the legend of short sticks. All those legends came from a story of a martial artist who had a beloved weapon, etc., etc. Now, from what I learned of short sticks, there's probably more than one story about the same damn martial artist who had a fucking bow staff that he would not fucking part with. He even slept beside the son of a bitch, depending on the story you've been told. And it got broken in battle. And instead of throwing it away, he modified it. And now you have the short sticks. And that was like a Kenpo thing. The legend could be different for the Filipino Kali style. Okay? So like I said, every story changes. Every martial art adapts. And you have to understand that. A person I follow on TikTok would slightly disagree with me. And he's older, he's wiser. I'm not going to say he's wrong, but I'm not going to say he's 1,000% right. Because I strongly believe that every time a teacher teaches you something, you adapt it and change it so that it works for you because of body mechanics, and it don't always work the way your sensei does it. So if I throw this punch, boom, and you throw this punch, and you modified it, instead of throwing it hard, you might pop it out there soft, because soft might be a hard target that you hit, and you don't want to break your hand. Like, you hitting for the face, you want to throw that shit out there soft. You hitting the body, you want to throw that shit out there hard enough to parts of the body that's more fleshy versus bony. Or if you want to break ribs, you want to be able to throw that shit right. You need to actually know how to hold your hand, how to make that fist, how to make that palm or that knuckle strike work with certain body parts. 2 knuckles to the ribs, 2 knuckles to the fucking metacarpals. You're gonna adapt your fighting style to what works best for you, regardless of what that fucking teacher says. You're gonna adapt that shit. You're gonna adapt, and you need to adapt if you're gonna be a fighter. You need to be able to adapt. No ifs, no ands, no buts about it. You need to be able to fucking adapt on the fucking fly. When a fist is flying at you, boom. If you don't have time for that block, boom. If you have to absorb it, tip your forehead. So did you hit your forehead? You may be looking like the Elephant Man tomorrow, but you're still conscious. Boom. Now you straight. You tipped your forehead because it was the only move you had. Understand how fights work. You have to understand how the human body works. You have to understand how body mechanics work. You have to understand how to fucking adapt in a fight on the motherfucking fly. Or sleep. Y'all might not like what I say, but you're going to sleep. Now let's get to the part of the video where I piss people off unintentionally, but with a small taste of honesty. Alright? We already have established, from my point of view and my point of view only, and if you don't like it, that's not my problem, that's your problem. Again, I hand out warnings, not invitations. I will never tell someone to come across town and whoop my ass. But in the event that they choose to come across town and whoop my ass, these videos do exist. Where I have said this on more than one video, I hand out warnings, not invitations. I am not the baddest motherfucker on the block. But the bad don't fuck with me, because if I'm going out, I'm taking you with me. Or I'm going to die trying. And if I die by myself, you going to remember I was there. Because I'm going to fuck your shit up before I go. It's just that damn simple. If we in a knockdown drag out, and you getting the better of me, and I know certain things that's going to shut your shit down, and you beat my ass, I'm shutting your shit down. And my main policy in any fight, every fight, if I ever get into another fight, is that I'm going to hit you in your lungs. I'm going to hit you in your throat. I'm going to collapse your windpipe, or I'm going to collapse a lung. Because if you can't breathe, it don't matter if you 6'5" or 4'2". If you can't breathe, you can't hurt no goddamn body. And I'm fixing on making sure that you can't breathe, period. So we get into fighting, and you fuck up and open up, boom, I got a liver. That's on this side, though. I got a liver, I got a lung, I got something, whatever right here. You open up, boom, and I can get one of them short ones in. I can't get one of the long, hard ones, but I can get the short one in. Boom. I'm going to get that bitch in. I get some separation, and you hit one of these numbers, I know I done hurt you. Boom. I ain't stopping. You backed off. You opened up. Your ass is mine. I'm not taking you to the ground. I'm beating your ass right there. The minute I get that one in, boom, and you like, aha, and that's it. All I hear is, boom, boom, boom. I'm going to work on that spot. I'm going to work on everything except for your fucking head. Because when I go for your head, it ain't going to be a chin. It ain't going to be a cheek. It's going to be straight throat. Like, bow! Hit you right in that motherfucking throat, and you're going to drop. It's done. And you might have been whooping my ass the whole goddamn fight. And you made that one motherfucking mistake. And I popped you right in your motherfucking throat. Like I said, I don't have to beat you to kill you. That's my motto in life. I don't have to beat you to kill you. And if you want the truth, it's a whole lot easier to kill a motherfucker in a fight than it is to beat their ass. Alright? If you are taught properly, it's a whole lot easier for you to kill someone by accident in a fight than it is for you to beat their ass. And now we're going to go to the cheaters and the ground and pounders. Alright? So I can end this video and stop nagging your ears off and then go post this shit. If you are in competition and you decide to poke someone in the eye, or if you decide to hit them in the crotch, you ain't a fighter. Or you a fighter, but you a dirty fighter, and you ain't all about that fight. You scared to lose. That's what that shit is. You scared to lose. Newsflash for you. I'm scared to lose. There ain't a person that gets in that ring or get out in these streets that ain't scared to lose. It's more cowards that are afraid to lose than the motherfuckers that know how to fight that's afraid to lose. Understand what I said. There are more cowards that are afraid to lose than people who get out here and fight that are afraid to lose. We all know somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. You ain't gonna know if you're gonna win or lose to that fucking first fight. That first punch is received. If you get hit and you go to sleep, well, you lost. It's done. You know, you got to get over that shit. You lost. Knocked you out fair and square. If you get into that fight and this person is whooping your ass 7 ways from Sunday and they make a mistake and you score and you knock them out, they could have been beating your ass the whole time, but they fucked up and you won that shit. Take your W and go. You ain't got to kick them while he down. Just take your W and go. A lot of people don't know how to do that. But like I said, if you in a tournament and you, or you're in the UFC, somebody in the eye, you ain't about that fucking fight. You knew you weren't about that fight when you did that shit. Because if you got to poke somebody in the eye and you in the UFC or in any kind of competition, you got to poke them in the eye to get the W, two things. One, you're a piece of shit. And two, you ain't a fucking fighter. Now, I can see an accident. But see, when you like this and y'all getting ready to fight, I'm already expecting you to poke me in the eye. Because 9 times out of 10, after we touch gloves, your hands should be like this. You setting me up to get poked in the eye. If we touch gloves and my hands like this, and your hands is like this, nah, you said to poke me in the fucking eye. Go watch those fights with those eye gouges. I promise you, watch their hands. See, a lot of people, when y'all watch these fights, y'all don't watch everything, man. Y'all see the bulk of the shit. But y'all don't see the big picture. Watch the motherfuckers' hand styles. You got some that come up there like this. You got some that come up there like they got one hand clenched and one hand open. And, you know, everybody got a different fucking style. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a different style. But them motherfuckers is not TIE fighter, but y'all touch gloves, they come out, they got their hands like this. Watch. Because those are generally the motherfucker that poke that motherfucker in the eye and then take advantage of that. You know, the KC, boom. And these fucking refs don't even pay attention to that shit. They don't look at that shit, and they let the fight go. And even though the guy be like, yo, you know, they give him the signal, yo, got me in the eye. You know, these motherfuckers don't even get reprimanded. They don't get kicked out of the fucking sport at every fucking fight. 3 or 4 fights later, you know, they're doing it again. If they don't do it every fight, they do it every other fight. And if y'all go back and watch these motherfuckers, you can pick them out every fucking time. And you can pick them out and watch how their hands go after they touch gloves. And most people, when they touch gloves and they get in this shit right here, where they get in here, they ain't got that shit way up here. They ain't got that shit at eye level. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're gonna do a collar lock and tie like in wrestling, they got that shit right here. You alright? If they got that shit at the other guy's eye level, that fucker's getting ready to get poked in the eye. He don't know it until it happened, but he getting ready to get poked in the eye. And the same thing with these motherfuckers purposely kicking people in the testicles when they're in the octagon. These motherfuckers weren't about that fight. They let their fear go past their honor and let it go past their fucking decency and sportsmanship. And like, alright, we in the corner. We all know when you up against that wall, when you're back against that wall, you can protect all day. And if you watch them, the one place they don't protect is their nuts because they know they're not supposed to get hit in the nuts. And the motherfucker be trying to pretend like he kicking him right here in the inner thigh and lift that fucking foot up a little bit too high. and catch them in the dick. And then it's like, referee will break it off, like, three count, go over there, give this guy time to get his shit together. And as soon as that fight come back, this motherfucker know he kicked him in the dick. He pretending like he kicked him in the thigh, and he gonna kick him in the dick again. And that shit is gonna bring that fucking fight to a fucking standstill, And then the guy that's receiving the kick, he be like, hey, dude, this motherfucker keeps kicking me in my fucking shit. Why you ain't saying nothing? I ain't see it. Yeah, you damn right you didn't see it because you weren't fucking looking. Just like when you get poked in the eye, the ref is not fucking paying attention. Anytime you got a guy that you about to fight and he at your eye level, this is my eye level right here. Now if I'm getting ready to fight you, I got this hand is at eye level, but this is that strike and jab. This is that protect. Boom. So if my hand's like this and I'm right here and this is an easy shot for me to poke you in the eye. But if I'm like this, I can punch you in the fucking eye because that's legal because I'm punching you in the temple and half of this shit gonna fit in your eye socket. Boom. But if I'm like this, I poke you in the eye. I ain't seen too many people go in there and do mantis and get straight coil. I ain't seen too many people go in there and do this animal shit. No. Because 9 times out of 10, when you in a fucking octagon or any thing like rec or one, you going in there like this. You ain't going in there doing this animal shit, doing this shit. Nah, you ain't doing that shit. Because you also know that you can't use Tiger Claw in the fucking UFC. I mean, you can use the feet part, but you can't be grabbing motherfuckers and trying to rip their shit out. You can't do that shit in the UFC or rec or Heavy. You can't do none of that shit. Or one, you can't do that shit. You have certain gloves and certain fights. If you watch their gloves, like they got the ones with the thumbs and then they got the shield that cover the whole hand. And that, it generally covers their hand, so that's how they get the eye. And you got the ones that got, like UFC got the 5-finger gloves and you got the knuckles and the other things on the motherfuckers. You can see their hands are literally out of the thing. And then the gloves has got the little sparkly thing. Every now and again you can see those gloves. And watch the gloves. And now let's go with the ground and pounders. The ground and pounders in these sports things, I'm gonna tell you right now, they ain't about that fight. They ain't about that motherfucking fight. They really ain't about that fucking fight. I don't give a damn who I piss off with that shit. Again, this is a warning, not an invitation. Y'all motherfuckers ain't about no goddamn fight. Y'all ain't about no motherfucking fight. And I'm going to say that because I got a little bit more respect for Tito Ortiz before he became a ground and pounder. Because even though he was getting his ass whooped, he was still standing up and going to the motherfuckers. And just like all the other fighters that came before him, Randy, Ken, these motherfuckers were stand-up fighters. Alright? Dan Severs. All these motherfuckers were stand-uppers. And then the ground and pounders came in. And when the ground and pounders came in, they was winning more because they got a motherfucker on the ground. Motherfuckers that were standing up ain't really had no damn ground game. Alright? But before the motherfuckers became ground and pounders, you had to get the motherfucker down first. And a lot of motherfuckers, they ain't stay down. You get them down, they roll back up. So when they get that ground, they hook their leg on your ass and lock you in, and then they hold you, and then they start ground and pounding your shit. They ain't about that fucking fight, They ain't about that fight. They scared they gonna lose, and they don't want to fucking lose because, I gotta always win. So they all about that shit. They gonna ground and pound your shit, and they ain't about that fight. And any ground and pounders watching, if you pissed off at this, again, this is a you problem. It ain't a me problem, it's a you problem because it's the fucking truth. Now, if you out in the streets, ground and pound is acceptable. It's acceptable. This is what makes me a hypocrite. Yeah, it's fucking acceptable. Why is it acceptable? Because there's no rules in the fucking street. Alright? We fighting in my backyard. We having backyard wrestling. We got certain rules we gotta follow. You gotta be careful when you body slamming somebody on the fucking ground. You gotta be careful when you fucking DDTing somebody through some tables and shit. You gotta be careful. Because performers gotta perform every fucking night. And when they ain't performing, they still gotta heal. You don't want to severely injure your fucking wrestling partner and shit, because it's a fucking business, and you staying in shape is the most important part of your paycheck. But if you get into a real fucking fight out here in the streets, man, nobody's giving a fuck about you. Period. So they are going to poke you in the eye. They are going to ground and pound your shit. And that's why I said that makes me a hypocrite, because that shit's acceptable. I've never done it. because I'm not about that ground and pound life. I'm about we standing toe to toe. Either you gonna knock me out or I'm gonna knock you the fuck out. But we gonna fight until we top. You know, if we both knock each other out, we rumbling, boom, and we kicking and punching and shit. See, I'm okay with that. But if you like hit me with a double, and you hit me with a high and low and sweep my foot, I should have been ready for that shit. Now I'm about to get my ass handed to me because you just dropped right on me and ground and pounded my shit. I'm that same motherfucking dude that will tell you real quick. If I block and I kick you, if you throw a kick and I sweep your foot, like you throwing this round kick right here, boom, and I'm on this side of you, I'm in the middle, you throwing this kick and I block it, I break your leg and I sweep your foot and I fall down on top of you, I'm gonna elbow you in your shit, and then I'm gonna hit you in your face. Or I'm gonna hit you in your throat. I'm gonna end this fucking fight as quickly as I fucking possibly can. I'm not gonna sit here and take this beating from you because we in the streets. Now we fighting for a living and we making a movie or some shit. Yeah, then you know it's not gonna be all that shit. Because in the movies, I'm not even hitting you at all. If anything, I'm barely touching your ass. It's like a little taekwondo tap or some shit. I'm just doing the facial expressions to make it look good. But in a real fight, I don't have to show you mercy. I choose to. Alright? But the thing is, that doesn't mean on the flip side of that script that you gonna show me mercy. And if you ain't gonna show me mercy, why should I show you mercy? See how that works? And now you see why it makes me a hypocrite? Because if I gotta ground and pound your ass, it's gonna take more work for me to hold you down and beat your ass than for me to stand up and beat your ass. Now let me explain that for those in the back of the room. I am 125 pounds. I am 5'3.5". It's gonna take more for me to hold you down to beat your ass versus we going mano a mano and seeing which one of us gonna make the fucking ultimate mistake that's gonna cost us the fight. If you 5'7", 165 pounds, you ain't gotta work that hard to hold me down. For the most part, especially if I hit my head on the concrete when you knock me down. But if I don't hit my head and I know how to fall and I tuck my chin so the back of my head don't hit the ground, you got a fucking problem. Because I ain't going to be down there that long. And you got to come down and get me. And when you come down and get me, you going to get the fight of your goddamn life because I got some ground game. It ain't BJJ. It ain't BJJ effective. In other words, it ain't going to be BJJ that I'm using because it's not going to work like that. But it is going to be some form of jiu-jitsu or some form of judo that I'm going to fight you from the fucking ground. Or a form of karate or a form of kung fu. But I am going to fight you from the ground. If you jump up to try to hit me, you got to come down. And when you come down, gravity's going to be more on my side than your side because I'm already on my fucking back. You know? So I'm going to be crabbing the fuck out your shit. You know? I'll be in the fetal position, doing the crab thing, doing this, altering, moving my body, but I'm on my back. You know, I'm going to be able to use one foot in the air and hold it like in a crab position, and my other foot is going to scooch me around the motherfucking circle. Wherever you go, I'm going. You know, if you at the bottom of my feet and you try to grab my foot, I got another foot. I'm gonna give it to you. You try to grab my hand, I got you now, because I have opposable thumbs, which means I can grab your shit, and you need to be thinking about that shit. And now I can put you in any kind of lock I want from the ground, and I ain't got to worry about you tapping because it's a fucking street fight. Where if we in a fucking arena or a tournament or some shit, once you tap, I gotta let you go. You understand? So, again, you can call me hypocrite because everything I just said was hypocritical, just like I said it would be. Because the thing about grounding and pounding in the tournament is that I ain't about that fight. I'm really just not about that fucking fight. Okay, more bugs to see the shadows. I'm not about that fight if I'm grounding and pounding you while we're in a tournament. If we are in the street, you son of a bitch. It's not a nest there. I don't know why this damn thing keeps going there. Now, like I said, if we in a tournament and I'm grounding and pounding your shit, I ain't about that fucking fight. I really ain't. If we're in a professional fight and I'm grounding and pounding you, I'm really just about that fucking money, so I'm just gonna do what the fuck I need to do. If we out in the streets and we fight, I'm about survival. If I gotta get to the point where I gotta ground and pound you, I'm probably gonna have to put in some work to get you that far. Now, a lot of people ain't about that kind of fight. A lot of people are not fighters. They just think they're fighters, and they're not about that fucking how long can I go shit. They're not about that shit. They think they are until they're in that situation where they get somebody who can just go, 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 go. I wish I could bring some of my fucking friends on here that I've wrestled with, like in high school. A-Dog would be a good guest because he could tell you about me being a little spider monkey and him not being able to hold me down, and he's every bit of 200 plus pounds. So, you know, especially when we was back in high school, last breath, motherfucker. You know, so the thing is, you know, if you're fighting somebody bigger than you, you have options. I'm gonna make one more video about that. All right. That being said, I'm not gonna thank Grey Wolf. This is Kung Fu Africa number 2. Much love, be seeing you, because I want to make this video right now. I want to keep it separate.